In this video, we will take a look at the LiPo battery checker, which allows you to check the battery capacity, how much charge it is, and also it allows you to check the battery health. Super important tool, rather inexpensive, and I personally use it all the time. If you have anything to do with batteries, if you have batteries at home, not only for airsoft, maybe for drone, RC cars, anything, this is definitely a good thing to have. And now I will show you how to use it. First things first, what can it do? You can check LiPo batteries and all these different batteries as well. So it's not just for LiPos, but in Airsoft, we usually mostly only use LiPos. That's why it's a LiPo checker. How do you connect a battery? You will use this white connector and you will make sure that the black wire is facing away from you. That's the first one in the series we want to connect to these pins. It doesn't matter if you have 7.4 volt battery, 2S, or 11.1 volt battery, that would be a 3S. This can check up to 6S, definitely, maybe even more. There's 7 different pins. So for Airsoft, plenty of options. We actually don't need all of them. The S stands for how many cells are in this pack. It's not one battery, it's actually 3 different cells on the inside. That's why I'm referring to 2S, 3S, and more depending on the voltage. So I don't want to go too deep into this. Just remember 2S, 2 cells, 3S, 3 cells, 11.1. When it comes to connecting, the black wire faces away from you and you just plug it into the furthest connector, the one marked with 0. You cannot really reverse it because there is not enough space. Now when we plug it in, we already see a bunch of information. LiPo, we have it set correctly to LiPo. If you would be checking a different one, just press this button and you can cycle through them. The first thing that you will see on the right side is obviously how much charge is left in. Here we have 98%, so this battery is full. We can say it's full. I never saw 100%. It usually goes 96 to 99. The reason is that when you are finished charging a battery, the voltage slightly drops, and I'm not even sure if there is space for 3 digits, so I think it caps out at 99. So for the purpose of what we need, 95 plus, full battery, no worries about that. The next button allows us to cycle through different cells. So if I push it, here we have total, that's the total voltage. If I push it, it will show me the voltage of the first cell, which is 4.18. Full voltage, when the battery is full, is 4.2 volts per cell. That's why this is happening, but again, I don't want to go too deep. Second cell is 4.183 and the third cell is 4.193. Why am I talking about individual cells? Do we really care about that? It's important when you want to diagnose a battery, whether it's healthy or not. I will show you that with this battery, which I know is damaged. So more on that later. We can cycle back to the total voltage, which is 12.55. That's the whole pack. Now, if I push this mode button, that will become very handy when we diagnose, it will show me the spread between the maximum voltage of the individual cells and the minimum voltage. And that's what allows us to tell whether this battery is, maybe beyond its lifespan. Here we can see that cell number 1 and 3, those are the minimum and maximum, and the difference is 0.013 volts. Now, how do you say? If you look it up on the internet, the commonly agreed threshold is 0.05 volts, difference between the highest and the lowest. If you are within 0.05 or below, then the battery is healthy, no need to worry about anything. If you see a bigger difference than that, you should start thinking about getting a new battery because the voltages are not in sync, they are just too unbalanced, which is an indicator that one of the cells is going bad, which basically means that you will have to replace it rather sooner than later. If you see 0.05, this is not like a hard stop, trash it, it's just an indicator. There is no such thing as an exact amount. you should definitely start being careful and observe the battery, because that could lead to potential damage, and it's just generally not so stable as a healthy cell, so keep that in mind. If you see anything way bigger than that, which we will see with this one, that's a time to get rid of it, definitely. If I push the button again, it will show me the maximum, which is the third cell, the minimum, which is the first cell, and I can just cycle through it, total voltage, and so on. All right, that's how you check a battery, and now I will show you how a dead battery looks like, which is not as obvious on the first sight, because what do we see? We see 4.3, okay, second cell, 58% capacity, all good. I can use this, I have 58%, and that is absolutely not true. Let me dig a little bit deeper. We see the percentage or the capacity, if it's fully charged, looks good. But once we start cycling through the cells, we will see that cell number 1, 0.05, that is a dead cell. 0.5% not even true, it's just dead, it's 0.05. There is no voltage on the first cell. If I cycle to the next one, that one is healthy, 4.28. That's actually higher than it should be. It should only be 4.2 maximum, but okay. And this is a 11.1 volt battery, which means there should be a third cell, right? Well, it doesn't even detect the third cell because that one is completely dead and it doesn't give us any reading. It's showing one cell that is healthy, one is broken, and one not at all. This battery is clearly 100% dead, and this should go into the trash, the correct trash for batteries. Don't just throw it because there is still some charge in it, and if you shorten it, that could lead to some damage, fire. Dispose of batteries the correct way. If we use the mode button, which is the easiest and fastest way to see whether there is something wrong, we will see that the minimum and maximum is 4.28. The threshold that I was talking about was 0.05. This is just as high as it can really get, which is a 100% indicator that, okay, this is wrong, you should not be using this battery anymore. That's how you troubleshoot, or that's how you check whether the battery is healthy. This basically includes all the different options, whether it doesn't detect the cell at all, or the voltage of one cell is just 0, or you can use the minimum and maximum. There you have it. This is how you use the LiPo checker. Super handy tool to have. Definitely grab one if you are using LiPo batteries or any other batteries for that matter.